So if you're like this person and you've been wondering why luxury bags, a lot of them don't seem to be the same quality as they were in the 80s and the 90s and even the early 2000s, it might be because of specific leather trends and a specific leather that a lot of brands are using. And I'm going to get into it. I heard we're not doing introductions on TikTok anymore, so for the purposes of this video, all you really need to know is that I am a designer and I work in the Italian leather industry, so I am qualified to talk about this. So lately, you may have noticed that a lot of brands are using leather that looks like this, or leather that looks like this, and even leather that looks like this. Now, I'm going to start with the two red bags because they're both made out of something called patent leather. What is patent leather and why are they using it? Patent leather is technically the underside of the leather with a heavy plastic coating on top. It is one of the cheapest leathers that we make, and it is very economical because you don't have to use the highest quality skins in order to make this type of leather because it is coated on top anyway. I've done a lot of videos on this, but I don't recommend people who want to invest in a luxury handbag and spend thousands of dollars to buy a bag in patent leather because it's not repairable. You cannot polish this, you cannot oil it, you cannot buff it. Once it scratches or rips, just like plastic or, fake leather, that's it. So why do brands use it? Number one, because it's inexpensive. And number two, honestly, because it's pretty structured. So it's easier to make these super structured bags without needing nearly as many reinforcements. It also tends to hold edge painting pretty well because it's not a super porous skin that absorbs a lot of the edge painting and makes it really difficult to finish the edges. So it's faster. Now, all of these pitfalls about patent leather are a little bit more known. This is also definitely a leather that tends to come around every single spring and summer season because it kind of has a connotation of being a spring or summer leather. Again, I don't recommend. But the leather that you might not be as familiar with is this type of leather, which is called spazzolato, and it's kind of in between a more natural leather and a patent leather. So it's basically a leather skin that could be high quality or could be not high quality, to be honest, and then it is very, very heavily coated. So it's not completely a plastic covering on top, but it's very, very, very heavily coated. So a lot of times they don't need to use as high quality leather because it's so coated. This kind of leather is also a lot more stiff. So again, it's great for really structured bags and it holds edge painting really well. So it is easier and faster and more efficient and less expensive to make super structured bags in this type of leather. To me, it's really not the highest quality leather. Some things in it can be repaired, some things cannot because again, it is so heavily coated. So you're not going to be able to just take normal shoe polish to it and, buff out any scratches. You're probably going to have to get it repainted at somewhere like the leather spa. I would also classify Saffiano leather in the same category as this type of leather that is so heavily coated that you don't really need to use the highest quality material in order to make it. And again, holds the shape really well, super structured, hides any imperfections, holds edge painting, all the things. I think at this point you're getting the idea. Another reason brands use this, it's not entirely the brand's fault. It's also a little bit our fault as consumers because all of these types of leathers are really easy to take care of in that we don't need to do anything at all. If you get caught in the rain with these kinds of leathers, it's really not a big deal. You can just wipe the water off. You don't need to actively oil it or clean it or polish it the same way you do with really natural semi-aniline or aniline type leathers, Napa leathers. I'm going to get to those in a minute. So because we have as consumers have kind of lost the understanding that we need to care for real leather, keep it out of the rain, keep it out of the humidity, out of the really high heat or sun, et cetera, brands respond accordingly. However, if you are kind of a little bit of a leather nerd and want something that is very easily repairable, you're going to want to go for something like this, which is a semi-aniline type of leather, super, super natural. It does scratch though, so these are the leathers that you definitely have to be more careful with. You might want to go with a full aniline, something like this. Honestly, this price for this bag. Good for them. Or something like this, which is, I can tell from this picture how beautiful this leather must be. Sometimes you could just tell from the picture, oh, this looks like a maybe full aniline, correct me if I'm wrong. It's gorgeous. But just know that you're really gonna have to take care of this. And finally, the pebbled leather. the bottolato, as we call it in Italy. This is like my favorite leather. I just love the texture in it. I like to go with the natural full grain leathers because I just think they're so beautiful. But these are all the leathers, aniline, semi-aniline, full grain, that really look like the natural skin. And usually you do need to select the highest quality skins in order to be able to make these leathers because they are less coated. They are more repairable, and they can be very durable if you take care of them properly and know how to take care of them. I'm not saying that any of these are bad except for the patent leather. Just know that if you're buying Saffiano or Spazzolato, it's not nearly as easily repairable as the more natural skins. And to be honest, it's a less expensive leather. Hope this helps. Ciao from Firenze.